Do people who hurt animals get treated badly in jails and prisons? Let's break it down. A possible trigger warning depending on the person, I guess. If you don't want to hear this story about that's kind of still for you, keep scrolling with all due respect. But I'm telling you, this was pretty. So look, when I was in the Trumbull County Jail, right? My ring light keeps dying. I was in the Trumbull County Jail. There was this kid right here, Colin McCauley from Cortland. I don't know if he's gonna see this. I don't give a fuck because they said that he did this shit and they had enough proof to charge him. Matter of fact, he's the reason they have Goddard's Law here in Ohio now. So watch. Man charged under Goddard's Law accused of beating puppy. And you could Google it, documents, whatever. When this all went on, wait, no, hold on. Let me rephrase that. I'm sorry. They were already putting the law into effect. His case was due to part of the reason how it got pushed through, and he was the first person in Ohio to have that law used on them. That's what it was. I watched it right on the news, right from the pod, 4A on the fourth felony floor in Trumbull County Jail. Everybody heard them say he was the first person in Ohio to be charged with this. So not only am I going to explain to y'all his case, I'm going to give you a spin-off, an actual story time of some of the stuff that he had going on in prison. Colin McCauley was arrested on November 14th after neighbors said they heard him beating his dog. When police arrived, they found his 6-month-old female pit bull mixed puppy with signs of abuse, including redness and facial abrasions, as well as swelling about the face and head. The dog was taken into the care of the Trumbull County Dog Warden Animal Cruelty Task Force. At the scene, McCauley became enraged and uncooperative. Officers chose to leave and contact witnesses to further their investigation. A short time later, they were called back to the apartment complex by the witnesses who said McCauley beat on their doors, demanding to talk to them. Then he said he would get even with you for calling the police. Police arrested him. McCauley was charged with menacing, intimidation, and prohibitions concerning companion animals. He was set to appear in court Wednesday. Cortland man is in jail. Look at the fucking bond. After he pleaded not guilty in essential. Hold on. What I thought it was. Hold on. Right here. Charged with 2 counts, menacing Monday after his neighbors called police. Okay, I went in criminal prohibition. Okay, this is in a media release. Cortland police officers questioned McCauley about the dog and noticed his 6-month-old pit bull mix breed showed signs of abuse. The dog appeared to have suffered from swelling, scrapes on her face and head. Okay, now, so really that was just showing y'all the legal side of things. You know, I do true crime cases, prison related, paranormal related, daily vlog. This was one of them, technically. All right, so I didn't know this kid, but I know that he was treated like kind of like a S offender in the joint. I mean, my bad, in the Trumbull County Jail because of this. So people would just randomly say shit to him, like dog beater, this and that, but they weren't really like putting their hands on him quite yet. But people dogged on him and talk shit, and he would just flip out. Like he would just come out and just yell and freak out, and he didn't really come off like a bitch, but he also didn't seem too experienced with like jail or none of that because he was young. But he ended up he would like lose his cool. Kind of reminded me of like a childish, like a kid with fucking anger problems for real. So he ended up what ended up happening, right, was we went to some type of program, church, AA, I can't remember, rec, I can't remember. He came back and he was bitching about his commissary was being gone, okay? And he was saying someone stole my commissary and he's freaking out. He ends up saying something to the COs like, yo, I'm hearing so-and-so did it. I'm hearing so-and-so did it. But everybody's like pretty much telling him don't say shit. Just figure out who did it and fight him. And then one dude says he did it. And he's like, pretty much was, I think, contemplating fighting him. But then he ends up plotting something in his mind. And this is exactly why. So the whole time I'm just thinking like that ain't got nothing to do with me. It ain't none of my business. We had a visit that day. So we all go to visit, right? Monique and my babies came to see me. We're all sitting there and shit, hanging out. As soon as they go to leave, okay? Now, I'm not 100% sure if this is the same kid I think it is, Walt, but I'm not 100% sure. So if he's seeing this or whatever, that's my dude. Like, I remember the kid I'm thinking it was, he ended up going to Lake Erie, a black kid, but I barely really know him all like that, but we hung out with the same people in Jamestown. He was pretty cool. And I know he went and did a bid. He grew up. He ain't a little kid no more and whatnot. I'm trying to remember if it's the same kid or if it was somebody else. But one of them, not only did someone take his shit, but they paid someone to whack him. Like they were gonna use his money to get him beat up and probably still keep some of the commissary, like a win-win. They ain't lose no money. They ain't getting their hands dirty, but also people didn't like the fact of what he did, right? So before we left, actually, the female lieutenant or whatever, the captain, blonde haired chick, she yelled in and was like, he told me, oh no, this was after. My bad, my bad. It's coming back to me now, all the story. Like it's literally coming back to me. We go to visit. I'm having a visit with Monique. I ain't thinking nothing different. She gets up and leaves, everyone does. When they walked out the room and we're all standing around waiting for the officer to take us back up to the pod, we hear a bunch of commotion. I look over. Dude took off on the kid that I was talking about, the black dude. They get to fighting right there for like 10 seconds. And they're just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, fighting. And then the cops break it up, this and that. That's when he tells them the motherfucker stole my commissary. Because he had like $60 worth of shit. And if you know, in the county, that shit ain't cheap. So, I don't blame him. He did what he was supposed to do. He stood on business. He took off on dude. But he didn't fight the dude upstairs because I think he knew that it was actually supposed to be that dude that was going to do the fighting for him. But I don't know if he just wanted to fight him and not him, the other black dude. I don't know. But for whatever reason, he finished his visit, did what he was, his whole visit, and as soon as it was over, he crashed all the way out. And when we got upstairs, we were all talking about it, telling them like, "Yo, they're like, where's he at? Where's dude at?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, he just got crashed out on by dude." Everybody's like, "Who? The white boy, the dog beater?" Well, that's when the captain came and got his shit, and she yelled in and said, "Oh, and by the way, he's telling me that you motherfuckers stole his commissary. Don't be doing that dumbass shit. You motherfuckers better quit stealing people's shit. I won't have no thieves in here." Boom, slam the door. What everybody knew is that was pretty much her way of letting the whole block know that he just told why he did what he did. Instead of just getting active, getting busy, popping dude, getting his hands dirty, crashing out, and then going to the hole and leaving it at that. And when they say, well, why'd you do it? Because I felt like it. And leaving it at that. That's how it goes down in the joint. Maybe it's just because he was green to the situation. I don't know. His first time in jail. But she was pretty much letting us know, hey, he just told us why he did this is because y'all stole his commissary. And I'm not 100% sure, so don't quote me. Because last time I said this or talked about him, I had his mom, his girlfriend, and his homie get a hold of me. I'm not 1,000% sure, but I almost want to say Austin Burke was in the block when this happened. I'm not saying he did it, but I think he was in the block, and this was within them 2 to 3 days that I was in the block with Austin before we got separated, and I never seen him again because I did a whole true crime story on him. And I'm not saying he had anything to do with stealing the shit, but I'm just simply saying I think he was standing there watching it because this took place in 2016. He did fight his case for a long time, and I didn't actually meet him again until 2017 because I went to jail. I got out, for a while on bond and then went back to jail to go to prison. But I was out on bond for 13 months. I don't even know if them time frames add up. Remember, your past isn't a life sentence. If you go through it, grow through it. Follow your heart and you'll always win. Stay safe, stay free, stay blessed.